Yo, yo, we are back again. What is up, y'all? Back with another one, walking, talking. A little bit of a different setting. I mean, it's just outside the yard, but kind of goes with the topic I want to talk about today. This one's a little bit later than usual, but still getting it in. But yeah, I think in this one, I'm gonna talk about kind of trying new things, you know, taking risks, kind of trying new challenges, those kind of things. You know, it makes it sound so intense. You know, this is part of what I'll be kind of talking about. It doesn't have to be crazy stuff, but right now, I mean, I'm in Easton. Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm in downtown Easton, so hopefully you can still hear me with music and stuff like that. People blasting in the cars. Yeah, and it's a Saturday, so it's a little active compared to usual. Um, but today, probably should stop this. But yeah, today, usually on the weekends I go see my mom, see what she's up to. Oh, this car is really stuck. All right, well, hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't know. It's convertible blasting music. Um, but yeah, usually on the weekends I go see my mom. Usually drive down. But oh yeah, this is how I got here. So I'm always looking at food stuff, like different like places around Northeast or whatever. A lot of YouTubers and stuff I follow, they they'll post about new food places or food places they're trying and things like that. So Jesus Christ, I just got to turn the way too. But I'll look at different food places, and there was one that was in like it was in Jersey or something. I was like, oh, see how far away that is, and it was like by the shore, so it was like pretty far. And I think for whatever reason, last time I was using Google Maps, it had like public transit instead of like car, so it like showed public transit, and it was like a 6 hour trip or something from where I was at to get there on bus and train and stuff. And it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I like looked at the route just because it was there. It's like, oh, okay, cool. There's some kind of in some suburbs, suburbs. Why did I say it? So there's like not much. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of public transit options very close. So I was like, oh, I'm curious what they're using to get there. So I was looking at that, saw the route, and I was like, you know what? I need to understand like a little bit of um, public transit that is here. Let me see kind of how it works and what the routes are and stuff. So I, ended up looking into it in my self-diagnosed ADHD type brain. So I was looking into like the bus routes and stuff kind of close to where we live and how they work and things. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the bus to see my mom and see how that goes and walk around downtown and all that. So, I looked at the schedule, looked at the routes, the times, and everything. There's not many times. uh, There's not many times around where we, like specifically where we live. It's more kind of closer to where I'm at right now. But yeah, I'll do this on a Saturday, see how it goes. In general, I like public transit anyway. I've been driving forever, so when I can go somewhere and not drive, it's great. It's not very often I get to do that. Kind of more often now that Heather has her license, but yeah, I'm usually the one driving and going anywhere. So the idea of taking a bus or train, or even I like flying, even just anywhere where I'm traveling and I'm not the one driving is great. I love it. So um, yeah, so let me see how much it is, see what the routes are and all that. So that's kind of what I did today, and I need to get some steps in and everything. So I was like, I'll take the bus, go downtown, and mom's not too far from me, so I'll walk up and see her. But yeah, that kind of leads into what I was something I wrote down weeks ago. I usually like something comes to my head, I just write it down. I figured today was a good time to get on this stuff. And just trying new stuff and sometimes taking. I mean, this wasn't really a risk. Sometimes you're taking a risk and just a new kind of challenge. It's like, all right, I never took the bus around here before. I mean, I've taken the bus a lot in college in Philly and stuff. I took the bus. And yeah, I never did it around here, so try it out. And it was cool. Of course, my good old Sam luck, something weird happened. The stop. I woke up and was like a little bit, not really late. Like I made my breakfast. I could have sprinted through and wolfed down my breakfast and walked to the nearest stop by our house. But I was like, I want to take my time with my breakfast since there's no rush on this. So I finished breakfast and then I had to drive to get to the room, which was like a immediate stop, which was kind of like 30 minutes later. So I got there, uh, and I got on the bus on schedule. It was at 11, and then we were on the route to head to Easton downtown. And yeah, I put my headphones in and everything. I'm just chilling on the bus. There's only a few people. Like I said, there's not a lot of public transit, so there's not a lot of people taking it. Um, and the bus driver goes off. He's doing his thing, and then he goes like what looks like the route. 'Cause, of course, I looked at what the routes are and everything, and then he like does another loop. I'm like, oh, maybe he was a little early, wanted to make sure he didn't miss anybody. And then he turns, keeps going on his route or whatever. Then he got kind of like slows down. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like not at a bus stop or like a light or whatever. He like does like a U-turn or whatever. And I have my earbuds in and they're kind of noise canceling, but they're not that noise canceling. So I kind of turn the music down. And he's like talking to a few people on the bus and he's saying something like, yeah, it's not my normal route, so I'm not really sure on which way I need to be going, or you don't know what, which way to get to like Palmer Mall. I'm like, wait a minute, the bus driver's asking us for directions. Isn't that like the whole point of me taking public transit or whatever? So he like, I'm not saying shit. It's like I'm in no rush, so it's like whatever. I'll get to where I gotta go eventually. I'm not really on a time crunch or anything. So he like, and I'm looking at the route like I know this area, so I know like where he should be turning. He makes a wrong turn, and then he's like going in the wrong direction. I'm like, if you need to pass the mall, you literally went the opposite direction. In my head, I didn't say this out loud. And then he like goes the wrong way and does like a K turn in the middle of this like not. It's kind of residential intersection. It wasn't like super busy or anything. And this other guy who's on the bus is, I guess, helping him. He like hops off the bus to like make sure he can do the K turn without anybody in the way. Then he gets back on the bus and he like moves to the front and he's like navigating this fucking bus driver to get to where we need to go. And it's like, wait a minute, what is going on right now? And there was another younger dude kind of sitting across from me. He had his earbuds in too, listening to music. He was laughing at the whole shit too. It was, of course, I'm 34 years old. I've been in this area, never taken this bus line ever, and of course, the one day I take it, bus driver doesn't know where the fuck he's going. So it's supposed to get to like downtown Easton at like 11:30. We didn't get there till like 11:50. So if somebody was on a time crunch, they got fucked up. But we get like towards downtown, and of course there's like some event or something going on. I think it was like the farmers market or something. So there's like fire trucks there or whatever. Um, and he's trying to like go his route, but he's to like, it's a transportation bus. So he's trying to squeeze in between these like parked cars and this fucking fire truck, which is just like not moving. Like they don't give a shit. Like whatever, he figure it out. So he's like squeezing through, and I'm like, yeah, these side mirrors of these parked cars are fucking cooked. They're gone. So he's like trying to squeeze through, and then somebody else who was just kind of on the sidewalk was kind of like waving him through to like, left, right, or whatever. And he gets through. He doesn't hit anything, but it's like, man, that's crazy. And it's kind of two things. It was one, like, what are the chances? Of course, not that it was a bad thing, but what are the chances of my ride being that? And then two, it's like, sometimes humanity's kind of just good, Those two random people who were just helping this guy out, They didn't, wasn't anything. They were just like, hey, all right, let me help him out. Let him know where he needs to go. And, help him, through this tight space or whatever. But it was kind of cool to see that. It was, not that I had a lot of hope or anything in humanity, but it's like, oh, okay. Sometimes it's like a day, right? I forgot my windscreen thing too, cattail. So sorry if the wind's going crazy. Um, but yeah, that was kind of my beginning of this trip, which is cool. It was like whatever, it's a fun little story to tell like this. So, but yeah, into what I was talking about, just trying new things. That's an event. I have an event to just kind of talk about now. That like that was fun thing to talk about. But yeah, just trying new things and taking risks and stuff. I think it's important for obviously just growth, but just like kind of opening your mind to stuff. I used to very much be like, I'm in what I'm in, and that's it. And if it ain't changing, because I don't need to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Which I still kind of am to a degree. Kind of still. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But um, there's always like room for improvement, right? So trying new things can, let you improve. It's like new skills. And again, my brain is always taking it to a game in some way. Monster Hunter, fucking anything. So every time you do a new fight, you're learning a new fight, unlocking new armor, unlocking new weapons. It's new skills, New skills you're unlocking. So it's like I could have just used the car and drove to come downtown and see my mom and everything, but I was like, you know what? Let me try something new. So now I unlocked the bus trip ability. I know what the routes are and what the bus routes are. It's kind of like learning a whole new language. Not that like learning how to read a bus or anything is breathtaking or whatever, but I always see the few bus stops that exist around. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what those routes are. 106 and 302, all those numbers or whatever. See the bus. So now it's like an ability I got where it's like, hey, if something happens and I'm in this area and I got to take a bus, I know what to do. Car breaks down or something, or like this, I just don't feel like driving. I know, hey, I can just hop on the bus here and it'll take me here and go do that. And it's not that expensive, $4 for a whole day. They got like a three for 10 kind of thing. 3-day passes for $10. You can do it right on the phone. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Trying something new, and now unlocked a new ability. I'm about to start walking up a hill. I might sound a little bit winded. Um, yeah, it's like it's just a new thing. Just no real reason. I guess kind of just hey, I saw this food thing. I opened up Google Maps and it was like, oh hey, public transit. Oh well, let me see what that is. Oh cool. And try that out. So it's like just kind of being open to new stuff can lead to cool things, you know. Now that's a new ability. That's a new armor set I've unlocked, right? I've unlocked the oh yeah, we got a hill here. I've unlocked the fucking the bus ride, bus rider, the bus rider armor set. Um, in this area, I mean, I've ridden buses and trains and all that stuff before, but never really did it in this area. And yeah, it was enjoyable. It's fun. I'm gonna take it back home as well later. Yeah, it was cool. And I think I talked about it before, but we're maybe I haven't, but we're getting a house. I swear I talked about it. But yeah, we're getting a house, and how I found that house was on these walks. You know, I think I talked about this, but who knows? Whatever. Um, yeah, I was taking one of these walks, and I saw a house, and I was like, "Oh, it looks cool. Let me look in the area, or whatever." And then saw a different one close, and I was like, "Oh, that's the one." Whew. And you know, that was kind of a, I mean, not, I guess risk, not really, but it was just like, "Oh, this is the one. We're gonna do this." You know, being open to new things and like challenges, right? Like that's buying a house is a thing. I would say it's a bit of a challenge, right? So just kind of being open because prior to that, I don't know, it's a weird kind of superstition thing. I generally like odd years. So I was like, you know, we'll just keep saving or whatever. And really start looking next year, you know, 2025. Oh, maybe I'll walk to the cemetery. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I was like, yeah, you know, we'll start looking 2025. That was kind of the thing, kind of the overhead idea. So I hadn't really started seriously looking until, or I didn't plan on seriously looking until around then, even though, you know, had enough saved up and everything. But, you know, I was taking one of these walks and I saw something and I was like, wait, this looks like the one. And, you know, now we're in the whole process, you know. Closing date should be next month and getting all my paperwork and all those things in order, which is exciting. And I was just, you know, one new thing, being open to a challenge, up being open to another thing, right? Like this walk. So it's like, all right, I need to start doing not the walking part. I already did that, but something kind of, you know, social or whatever. So that's I feel like something I need to challenge myself on. So that led to this, which led to seeing those things. And it's like I walk to work every day, but I don't take that path that I took, you know? So it's like, you know, this is something new that led to something else new, which led to pretty important, you know, life decisions. So it's pretty cool just being open to trying new things. And I mean, again, I wouldn't say it was a risk deciding to walk, but could look at it that way if you wanted to. Uh, ooh, that was a good hill. In the cemetery now. Oh, hold on. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think it's important to kind of, I don't know, force yourself makes it sound aggressive, but kind of make efforts to try new things and take new chances or risks or open yourself up to new challenges and stuff. It's very easy to get set in your way and just keep doing the same thing, which that's a very good thing to have in certain aspects, right? You know, when it comes to my fitness and my diet and stuff. Although I enjoy cooking, so I try different stuff, but you know what I mean. Stay within my calorie limits or get a certain amount of cardio or whatever, but you can still do the same thing while changing it up at the same time. Do the same thing while trying new things, you know? Like right now I'm still getting my steps in, my cardio in, my movement. Always got to do that, but you know, decided to take the bus and go out for a walk and touch some grass, you know, as they say, touch some grass. And I think it's just good physically, mentally. You know, we all, especially as just humans, it's kind of our thing is we adapt and grow. That's just like what we do, our species. I forget what that show was. There was some show Heather was watching about like some aliens, or they think aliens who were looking at the earth and the aliens were about to like be extinct or whatever, and they needed to like advance their technology, and they found earth, and like I guess they kind of like did research on earth and was like this this whole this whole planet like progressed so fast in their technological advancements exponentially. Like the aliens were like, how do they do that? And it was like they're technologically advancing so fast that and we're out of like resources that we need to find a way to stop their advancement so they don't come to us and take our little bit of resources. I think that was kind of the gist. I don't know. Heather's probably gonna watch this and tell me I was way off or something, but that was kind of the gist I got. I'll usually like peek and watch some stuff she's watching on the TV while I'm working out or something. But it's kind of an interesting idea. But the point I'm mentioning is that just kind of us as humans, we like grow and our whole kind of thing is just getting better at doing the thing. So even though we do kind of like stability, it is kind of our thing to just get better at something. Um, and I think doing that requires you to have an open mind to things and try new things and stuff like that. So that's kind of where today and this topic and all that kind of stuff came from. Just hey, let me just try something new. And it's always like, oh, it's kind of scary. Try something new. You don't know what's gonna happen, right? The unknown. The unknown is always scary. But I mean, I talk to myself all the time. That's what I'm doing right now. But in this whole house buying thing, people are always like, oh, it's gonna be so stressful. It's gonna be so hard and difficult, or whatever. The week before closing is gonna be crazy, and it's like, I don't know. So far, there's situational things. I think my situation, we probably got a bit lucky or whatever, but um, so far nothing has been crazy, and I'm knock on airwood. Um, but it's more so like I've done research, I've looked into what I need to get, and I think I'm generally probably a more digitally organized person than average, than most. So when they're like, we need these documents and this and that, it's like I know exactly where that stuff is. I don't have to go crazy trying to look for it or anything. So putting myself in a situation where whatever I need to worry about is in my control, so I'm not worried about it. And then things that are out of my control are out of my control. So there's no reason to be worried about it, right? It's like if it's something I can do, I'm gonna do it. So why, I wouldn't be stressed about something I can do. Somebody's like, hey, go take 10 steps outside. Okay, why would I be worried about that? I can do that, right? Like, hey, get this other person who has no idea who you are to just give you $1 million. It's like, well, that's not in my control. So I'm not going to worry about that. It's not, I can't handle it. That's not me, that's them. So, that's kind of how maybe a pretty rudimentary way to look at it, but it's kind of how I look at it, where, this whole process is, if I can do it, I'm going to do it. So I'm not worried about it. If I can't do it, then it's not something for me to do. So I'm not going to worry about it. So far, it hasn't really been all that stressful or anything. Thankfully, there's some times where, I'll get a call from, people working with the house and I'm like at work or something. But I think the people you work with in these kind of situations helps too. I think the team we got is pretty good. But yeah, anyway, that was kind of a sidebar of just not trying to not worry about stuff you can't control, because I guess that's kind of where it comes from. When trying new things, you're scared. It's like, I don't know, this might not go the way it's supposed to. It's like, as long as you're willing to do all you can in your control when you go to do something, excuse me, shouldn't be too much to really worry about. Just be prepared as much as you can. You can only prepare for so much for things, but prepare for what you can and just control what you can. And it kind of makes trying new things and stuff like that, like, not as intimidating or whatever, right? Like on this bus trip, I was like, oh well, what if I miss the bus? All right, so what? Again, I'm doing this on a Saturday, right? Where this is where that being prepared thing is. If I do miss the bus or something, Heather could pick me up, or my mom could pick me up because they're not at work. It's the weekend, you know. If I did this on like a weekday, when, I mean, why wouldn't I be at work? But you know, I didn't have work for whatever reason, and then I couldn't get a ride. Although for me, that's just more steps. So again, it's like I have the control of my legs. If I have to, I'll walk home. If for whatever reason the bus line shut down, like, I'll just fucking walk home. It's not that big of a deal. Um, so even then, what's in my control? My legs. I can still walk. Oh, it's a groundhog. So and maybe that's just kind of a perspective thing. It's like, oh, I had to go to the bathroom. Just go right to the gas station. Like, I can figure stuff out, and just makes trying new things and challenging yourself, I think, a lot more exciting, right? Like, I was looking forward to this, which I guess this would kind of allude to maybe the next topic of just kind of giving yourself goals. All types of goals. They don't have to be huge or large or anything. So I'll probably talk about that in the next one. But yeah, like, this was on like maybe Tuesday or something. I was like, I was looking at. I'm always looking at food stuff. Um, so I was like, I'll oh, my brain just kind of shut off. There was some other people here. I don't want to seem like that weird person who's like filming the cemetery, like looking for weird stuff. I'm just walking through. Um, yeah, so that completely threw me off. Man, what was I saying? Uh, I was looking up stuff. It's going. I heard that door and I was like, oh shit. Oh man, yeah, that threw me off. Let me see if I can remember where I was. Give me a second here. Let's look at the environment. What was I saying? It's talking about, I guess, just trying new things. I just remember what the root. the route was. Um, yeah, just looking that up, I was like, oh, the goals thing. That's what I was kind of talking about. Yeah, like this was on like Tuesday. It was gonna come back. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm looking forward to that on Saturday. So now that's a little thing, little trip, and I don't know how much I spent. Not much, maybe $20, $4 on the bus pass. I bought an expensive ass hot dog downtown. Trying new stuff. Tried a new hot dog spot. Ain't got nothing on Jimmy's. If you know, you know. Uh, $7 for some hot dog with a bunch of veggies on. It was a good hot dog, but I don't need to go again. Jimmy's exists again. If you know, you know. Uh, but it wasn't that big a deal. Try something. Oh, excuse me. But again, prepared. I was like, I'm not gonna get some fries. There'll just be some normal ass fries, oil, carbs, fat, all that. So brought some snacks. That's on the IG. I've been posting again, trying more new things. I've been posting all my meals over there. I take a picture of my food all the time anyway. It's just something I do just so I can like reference what I eat, or if I forget, or what did this meal look like or something. And there's been a bunch of people who kind of hit me up like, oh, ever since I made that post about my progress and stuff. And like I've learned that some people just don't really lock in even though they want to, or aren't as, maybe they do lock in but just aren't as like into it, just enthusiastic about it as I am. So when I'm like really into the dieting, not really dieting, but just nutrition. It's a better word than diet. Nutrition, right? So I want to talk about it all the fucking time, and so other people they don't really care like that, or they don't care to talk, which is fine too. So I found myself like wanting to share this information with people who probably weren't as interested in it as I was, or if they were, I just wasn't really getting much feedback. So it's like, well, I'm going to share this stuff and not hear anything back, then I might as well just share it for a bunch of people to look at. So that's why I started posting that stuff on Instagram. So it's like, hey, if you have any questions, you can just go here and look. You can see what I eat every day to be how I am. Because again, I said that in the last videos. It's diet. I think I said it in the last one. It all comes down to diet. But yeah, trying new things. It's like, yeah, let me just. I'm not really much of sharing. I know this is sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? I'm really sharing social stuff right now, but I don't know. I don't really socialize very much. So these are me trying new things to see if they, not that my mental is in shambles or anything, but just trying new things to, you know, try new things, see how they feel, see how they work. See if I can stay consistent with something. Kind of also new things, kind of a new challenge of just posting my food, which is not really much of a challenge because, like I said, I did it all the time anyway. I already take pictures of every time I eat just to look at it later and see what it was or anything. So now I just share it. So people who want to know, it's like, all right, I don't need to repeat the same conversation for a week and then I just don't hear anything anymore. Just go look at my IG, man. You want to see what I'm eating, put the macros, all that stuff there. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Just trying new things, and I don't know. I guess I don't really need to have a message, but just give yourself the opportunity. That's what is about accountability and grace, right? So give yourself the opportunity to try something new, and give yourself the grace to move on if it doesn't work out, or if it's weird or something fucks up, and it's sometimes that happens. Like dude on the bus, he was on the wrong route. He didn't know where he was going. It's all good, man. You gotta weigh out what things are really important and really aren't. A lot of things really aren't that important, uh, if you think about it. But I do think it's important to try new things and kind of force yourself to gain new skills in different ways. You know, it's not like go to college so you can gain new skills or whatever. Just life stuff. You know, this whole nutrition thing. I didn't learn shit about this in school. I should. This shit should be taught. Calories and macros and protein and carbs and all that shit should 1000% be taught in school. I am not learning that shit a day. What a calorie is. Hell no. So, you know, some skills that probably should be taught in school aren't. And some things that probably shouldn't be taught in school are. But just trying new things will let you kind of just learn new stuff and unlock new abilities. That's kind of how I always look at it. You know, trying new things, I've unlocked the, well, hopefully, all things going well, unlock the homeowner ability. I've unlocked the Easton area bus ability. I wouldn't say I've unlocked the video recording ability. I kind of already knew how to do that, but you know, just trying new things is good. So yeah, I think that kind of covers it, wraps it up. Still walking around here. I don't know, man. People think it's weird in the cemetery. I think it's very somber, kind of very relaxing here. It's a good walk. Yeah, I think that covers it. It's a pretty good talk. Appreciate y'all listening if you did. And yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. Pardon the maybe sound out of breath. That hill was good. Good hill. Yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. Good one, y'all. Peace.